Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the Venture Center. Glad to have you all here. We are just a tad bit weary from demo day. So, as most of you know, we just concluded our accelerator, our second one this year with the FIS program at the Rep. I hope some of you were there. I think you were. It was an extraordinary event. We appreciate so much the support of this community as it comes to these programs today as well. So Lift the Rock, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm Wayne Miller. I'm the Executive Director of the Venture Center. Somehow I'm responsible for all this, but I've got a great team that makes me look awesome every day. So really, I'm just a pretty face. But, oh, that's a nice laugh. Maybe I shouldn't say that, I'll stop saying it. Before we get started, I did find some car keys. Did anybody lose their car keys? It looks like a Chevy. Are those yours? Glad you got out. I hope they're yours. If it was a Ferrari, you would get them back. Lift the Rock is an event that we have on a routine basis to really connect our community to the great people and great companies and courageous startups and people who begin companies in our community that become great things. And you know, being an entrepreneur and starting a business, as we're going to hear today, as well as the things that John Owens is doing across the river in North Little Rock with his organization, are things that are helping to make Little Rock and North Little Rock and Arkansas and Central Arkansas so much more relevant. You know, we love the work that we do here. We love the opportunity to work with this community. We have a great obligation here at the Venture Center to contribute in that fashion, and this is one of the ways in which we do that. A couple of quick things. So we've got John Owens and Heather Nelson and Josh Davenport who will be with us today, and we'll hear from them. The Venture Centers, you know, this is the sort of the three legs of our stool. We're about education, collaboration, and acceleration. Most of you know us because of our accelerator programs, but really half of our efforts are dedicated to this community, as I mentioned, to help educate people who want to start businesses, really giving them the place to begin. So if I've got a great idea, where do I go? What do I do? Who do I speak to? And through our mentors, through our community, through things like the chambers, etc., we create an opportunity for those things to occur. On the collaborative piece, we're working with the local universities, we're working with other corporations and so forth, and trying to become more relevant and give them a place to go, to take the skills that we've developed here in terms of driving innovation, because we believe innovation happens here, so we can really do that. And the Accelerate piece, you guys know about that with FIS and also the ICBA, the Independent Community Bankers of America. We bring 20 companies through here. We actually have changed, who's still with us. Say hi, guys. We're also the Executive Choice Award winners at Demo Day this past week, and they did an extraordinary job. We're here for the last 12 weeks and made Arkansas. So we're looking at producing some other accelerators. We're looking at healthcare right now. We're also looking at ag, and we're excited to really take our fintech skills and apply those to those industries as well. You know, every industry, every vertical has a financial technology component to it. We're going to try to figure out how to leverage our skill sets there and promote that kind of value to those industries as well. Special thanks always to the chambers, to the tech park, also to Honey Baked Ham. Everybody has a full belly. I hope they did a great job of making lunch for us today. So we're appreciative of that. And if you're trying to connect with us, Jess, Mimi, the team here, we're all over social, and I want you to pay attention to that. That's how you find out about the great things we're doing here, also through our website. So please log on and check out what we're doing there. That being said, I have about 14 pages on John Owens' bio. We've got it distilled down to a couple of paragraphs, so if you guys will bear with me, I'm going to read this because I didn't memorize it. So John Owens, John, come on up here, is the president and CEO of the North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce, where he and his staff work to make North Little Rock and Central Arkansas one of the most progressive communities in the South. The North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce has over 1,300 members and is a driving force behind economic and community growth in the region. Prior to joining the North Little Rock Chamber, Owens spent 35 years in the consumer products industry, helping large CPG manufacturers sell their products to national retailers like Walmart, we've all heard of, Kroger, Walgreens, CVS, Costco, and Albert. Did I say Costco? Sorry to say that. and Albertsons, to name a few. He's the co-founder and served as president of Crossmark, a sales and marketing outsourcing company with over 10,000 employees, headquartered in Plano. Owens serves on the advisory board of the University of Arkansas Little Rock Business School, the University of Arkansas Medical Sciences College of Healthcare Professionals, is an honorary commander of the Little Rock Air Force. He and his wife Lorraine, who was also with us today. Lorraine, put your hand up and say hi. I have 5 children and 4 grandchildren. Everybody welcome John. Thank you.
Through? No? There we go. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I've got a lot of friends in the audience, and I appreciate all of y'all being here. I'd like to recognize a few people, though. I'd like to recognize my staff, Elise Cullen and Emily Chambers. Y'all stand and be recognized, please. I'd like to recognize 2 of my past chairmen. Dr. Margaret Ellaby is here today. Thank you for being here. County Judge Barry Hyde, who is also a chairman of the North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to recognize the North Little Rock Chamber's godmother, Lisa Farrell, who is in the back of the room. Please stand, Lisa. Thank you, godmother. We appreciate you being here. And I'll talk a little bit more about our godmother here in a little bit. So I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm going to show you some pictures, but I'm going to start with a story. So my first slide. I need my first slide. I hope I can advance this properly. Nope. Where do I point? There we go. So if you see my first slide, the title of my slide is Little Rock, a great place to live and work. And why would the CEO of the North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce have that as their first slide when they begin the discussion? And there's a number of reasons for that. And one, part of my talk is going to be about economic development. And the region we live in is the Little Rock region. And it's how our community is identified. It's what we're known as. But I also want to talk today, the theme of my talk is going to be how important the entire region that we live in is. And I'll talk a little bit at the end. I'll tell my story, and then we'll show you some photographs of the things we do for our Chamber of Commerce. So I'm a native of Central Arkansas. I've lived in North Little Rock almost all my life. I've lived almost everywhere there is to live in North Little Rock. I grew up in Park Hill. I lived in Lakewood. I lived in Overbrook. I lived in Chimney Rock. I lived in Levy. I lived in Rose City. There's not many places in North Little Rock that I'm not familiar with. Some of my friends, one of my friends that didn't really know that much about what I did, he said, "You're the mayor of North Little Rock." I said, "No, I'm the Duke of Dogtown." But I love North Little Rock. I love Central Arkansas. It's a great place to live. I started my career in the food industry when I was 16 years old. I went to work for Kroger, working in a grocery store, and paid my way through my college career at the University of Arkansas. And when I graduated from college, I couldn't find a job with a degree in political science, so I stayed in the food industry. Ended up going to work in the food brokerage business for a little company called Lewis Johnson Company at 917 West Markham Street. We had 22 employees when I joined the company. I was given the responsibility about 27 or 28 to start calling Walmart corporate headquarters, representing food companies to Walmart. We created a separate division called Alpha One, which I managed, where we provided in-store merchandising services for Walmart, expanded it to Kmart and Target. We grew the division of the company. It grew to almost 1,000 people under my leadership. We moved the corporate office over to 12th and Louisiana Street. We decided we wanted to grow our food brokerage business, so we merged our company with 2 others, moved the corporate headquarters to Plano, Texas. We did 26 acquisitions, changed the name from Salesmark to Crossmark. When I left, I was president and co-founder and co-chairman. We had about a $700 million operating budget, and we had roughly 10,000 employees. And I stayed there in Dallas, Texas, where I moved. The first time I'd ever left North Little Rock. Moved to Dallas, Texas, and spent 5 years there. Loved it, but decided I wanted to come home. Sold my business interest, moved back to Little Rock, moved back this time not to North Little Rock, to Little Rock in the Heights, and lived over on Overlook Circle above the Arkansas River, beautiful view. And I stayed back home about 3 years. I got restless, moved to Boston, did a couple of things there, worked in Boston for about 5 years, In total, I was gone for about 10 years, and then I came back home. And did a number of things in the interim. About 4 years ago, I took the job as the CEO of the North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce. I never in my wildest dreams thought that being from North Little Rock would be one of my assets when I had the opportunity to take this job. And I want to tell you, it's just been a true blessing for me. What a great way to end my career as the CEO of the North Little Rock Chamber of Commerce. So I want to talk a little bit about our community. I think sometimes we don't take the time to reflect about how great this community is that we live in. It is truly a great place to live and work. And there are so many good things about it. I think one of the things that make it a great place to live and work is the sense of place that our community has. And I'm fortunate, having grown up here, but left and gone to Dallas, gone to Boston, see some other places, to really appreciate what we have here in Central Arkansas. We have a vibrant downtown. We have a vibrant town in Little Rock and a vibrant downtown in North Little Rock in Argenta. And they're both very unique. And we've got the river market. We've got the farmers market that we have. We've got the Argenta Plaza that we're building over in North Little Rock now. There's so many things to do. We've got Verizon Arena, Dickie Stevens Park, and on the weekends, there's just tons of stuff going on in our downtown area. And I think it's very important for any successful business community to have a vibrant downtown area. We've got a great art scene. We've got the Art Center. We've got a Kansas. We've got Robinson Auditorium. We've got the Museum of Discovery. We've got the Repertory Theater. We've got the Argenta Community Theater. We've got the Joint Comedy Club over in North Little Rock. We've got so many things to do here that attract young people to want to live in our community. And we're blessed with so much outdoor recreation. I'm a big bicycle rider. I know Barry is too, and a number of others. And Jerry Bruno and I just went riding last weekend. We've got a great bike trail system. And it's something to really be proud of. We've got the Big Dam Bridge, Two Rivers Park. We've got 3 marinas on the Arkansas River. We've got the Little Rock Yacht Club, Rockwater Marina, and soon to open John Burkhalter's project that he's building along the Arkansas River. We've got Burns Park, which is one of the largest municipal parks in the United States. We got Pinnacle Mountain State Park, and just a short drive away, we got Lake Ouachita, Lake Hamilton. We've got Oaklawn Park, if you like the horse racing, and we've got some of the best duck hunting in the world. So a lot of things here in our community to do. We've got a great workforce. We've got our high school in North Little Rock, and all of our schools now starting to work together with an initiative with the Little Rock Chambers, and taking the leadership on the Forward Next Generation Learning, which many of you have heard about. If you haven't, you will be hearing about it. We're really trying to create a workforce that's job ready to take jobs when we have businesses that we're trying to bring to our community. And we also have educational institutions like Pulaski Tech and University of Arkansas Little Rock that are working with our major employers to put together custom programs to have to enhance our ability to have a job-ready workforce. So, some other things that make our community great is our infrastructure and our physical location. We're physically located at the intersection of I-40 and 30, which is a really important thing for transportation and logistics. And it's allowed us to attract businesses like Caterpillar and all of the trucking industries with Maverick and ABF's terminal in North Little Rock. It makes us an ideal place for companies that are focused on transportation. And we're also starting to really promote entrepreneurial activity, and the Venture Center and the Tech Park are examples of that. When I came back from Boston in 2003-04, there was none of this was here, and we've made so much progress, and it really has added to our community. But I think the one thing that I've learned in the 4 years that I've been with the Chamber is the one thing that makes our community great is our people. We've got people who have the vision, the passion to take projects and really work to make them happen, and that's what's made our community great. I want to cite just a few examples. Our mayor in North Little Rock, Joe Smith, he had a vision to build a plaza. And he has taken that thing and he has made it happen. And if you've not driven down Main Street in North Little Rock, you need to. Because we're going to have an awesome plaza with a water feature and a stage and great restaurants. And it's already starting to attract some new businesses and communities to our neighborhood. I have to tell you, a guy like Warren Stevens, having him in here in Little Rock, and the leadership he's provided. I remember all the consternation about where the baseball park was going to be located. And he looked out his office window and said, I think it needs to go right there. And that's where it is. Dixon Flake and his vision for this place. And the work the Little Rock Chamber did to raise the money to make it happen. And Jimmy Moses and all the work he's done with the River Market. You know, Jimmy failed with the Metro Mall, which is right up the street here, the first round, but he didn't give up, and he kept working. And I think he's one of the major factors for what we have here in our downtown area today. And then the Verizon Arena with Judge Buddy Valines, Mayor Jim Daly, and Mayor Pat Hayes, and the work they did to make that happen. And what an asset that is. I mean, we get acts like Paul McCartney and untold others, Jimmy Buffett. I mean, who would have ever thought we'd have that in Little Rock, Arkansas? So those are some of the things that make our community great, and I think that we should be proud of them. You know, people always compare us to Northwest Arkansas, and I think that we can compete heads up with not only Northwest Arkansas, but any community of our size. And I think that it's just something that we all need to remember and reflect on from time to time. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Chamber now, and I've got a few photographs here, and I'm going to share through the photographs some of the things that we do in the community at the Chamber. So, first of all, we're over at 100 Main Street in North Little Rock. We've got an 8,000 square foot building. We've got 6 offices on the first floor. On the second floor, we've got a huge meeting room that holds about 200 people. And every first Friday of the month, we have an event called FYI Lunch, much like this, where we have a community speaker and we offer lunch. And it's the building itself is a great tool for our members. And we also have free parking, which is an added benefit. Now, when you come over to North Little Rock, you need to bring a sweater because it's about 10 degrees cooler over there than it is on this side. So don't forget your sweater. You're going to have to have that. And I love, I come here to speak, and you guys listed as the North Little Rock Regional Chamber, you know, and we've been competing with our brothers and sisters for Little Rock Regional Chamber, and I have to explain to people that although we don't have it in our name, our members are throughout Central Arkansas. And when I wrote my bio, we had 1,300 members. We have 1,500 now. We just had another ship drive, so we picked up another 250. We are structured. Here's our team. This is our chamber team. The gentleman in the pink suit in the middle with the pink shoes, he's not actually on our team. He's our consigliere, and that's the role he plays. We bring him in from Italy to help us with various activity that we work on, but everyone else besides his assistant here is on my team. Like every other chamber, we have a chairman, Chris Johnson, CFO of Dillard's, is our chamber chairman, and our next year's chairman is Paula Jules Jones. And we also, as I mentioned before, unlike other chambers, we have a godmother, Lisa Farrell, who is our godmother, and Bobby Gossard, who is our godfather. And a lot of similarities between the North Little Rock Chamber and the Mafia. So Josh Davenport here, he's a member of the Chamber. So if I was going to introduce Josh to you, I would say, this is Josh Davenport. He's a friend of ours. If I was going to introduce Jerry Bruno to you, who is not a member of the Chamber, I would say, this is Jerry Bruno. He's a friend of mine. So that's how the distinction. Friend of ours, friend of mine. So sometimes things get out of hand in the Chamber, and we have to bring the Godfather in to straighten them out. You may recognize this guy here. He gets a little rowdy. John Burgess at the Chamber from time to time. We've got to bring the Godfather in to kind of straighten things out. He does that. We do a lot of business after hours. This is one of our recent business after hours. We did one for the Jimmy Buffett concert. Our building is conveniently located right across from Verizon Arena, so it's a great place for things like this. And as you can see, a number of our members are parrot heads. They had a good time. One of the things you're going to see quite often in the photographs I'm going to show you is there's a lot of eating and drinking, and a lot of that goes on at the chamber. We also try to structure events that will help our members network with one another. It's a very high priority is to help our members find more ways to do more business with one another while having fun. This is a group of people that were at the party. They weren't allowed to go into the concert. I don't know. Some of them may have had a little too much to drink, so they were returned and they stayed at the chamber while the concert was going on. One of the other events we do is around the kickoff of the Oaklawn season. You may recognize a couple of these gentlemen here. This is Frank Fletcher on the left and Steve Landers on the right. I think this is the only time the two of those gentlemen have ever had their pictures made together. It's one of the few activities that they both enjoy. They both own horses and they both love horse racing. But it's a great event that we do. We are so fortunate to have Oaklawn racetrack here in our community. It's just another asset that we have that makes our community a great place to live and work. Louis Sella, the owner, was our speaker at our last one, and the work they're doing over there with creating casinos is going to really be another added attraction to our community. We, like everyone else, have a banquet. Other chambers we all have banquets. We have our banquet at Verizon Arena. We have about 800 people that attend. I say that it's the biggest networking event in Central Arkansas. One of the things that we do at our banquet is we like to have an opportunity to showcase the work that we as a chamber do all year long at that banquet versus just having people speak. One of the things that we do at the chamber is we recognize our top performing policemen, firemen, and emergency service worker. We have them come up on the stage. We recognize them in front of 800 people. And we also give them, we also recognize our, another program that we do, which is called Leadership Renaissance. We have 30 11th graders that go through our leadership program every year. We teach them about the importance of giving back to their community. We have several of them come up on our stage and give a little talk. We do that for a reason. We think that it's important to instill confidence in them, and what a better way to do that in the 11th grade is put them up on a stage in front of 800 people. And hopefully it'll give them the confidence that will last them through their career and their lifetime. These two gentlemen here were my greeters. They, along with me, stood in the front of the stadium, and we shook hands with all 800 people who came into the ring. And they're dressed a little more snazzy than I am, but I think it was a good experience for them as well. And you never know who you're going to see at these things. You know, you just never know who's going to show up. You might have a few local celebrities, or you might have some old folks from North Little Rock that just happen to drop by, like Jerry Jones. As I mentioned, one of the things we do, we have a Public Safety Awards ceremony where each year all of our policemen, firemen, and emergency services workers are recognized. We have stories that are told about the things that they've done over the course of the year, and it's extremely inspiring. You hear stories of policemen that talked someone off the Broadway bridge that was wanting to jump and commit suicide. We've had a number of life-saving activities that have occurred by both our firemen and our policemen and our emergency services workers. We reward the top performers with a watch. It's a TAG Heuer watch with a blue face, blue for North Little Rock. I've had mine for 25 years, and I hope that they have theirs for just as well. Sometimes we have the opportunity to respond to something that just occurs in our community, and this is an example of that. Just recently, you all know the flood of the river, historic flood, historic crest at 30 feet, one of only 5 crests above 30 feet in the last 150 years since they've been keeping track of the river. It's meant a lot of hard work for the city employees. I live in Rockwater, and we have, right on the Arkansas River, we have an area where it's low, and the city workers had a pump out there pumping water to make sure we stayed dry and we could get by. Not only did they have a pump out there, they had an electric department truck sitting next to it and somebody watching to make sure the thing never stopped. And that's just the kind of effort that the city employees have been putting behind keeping us safe in North Little Rock. So we responded by doing a hometown hero lunch. The chamber organized it. We had 500 city employees come. Mayor made comments. It was just a way to say thank you from the chamber for the work that the city employees did to keep us safe. One of the other things we do is we have a fashion event. This is one of our most popular events. We have it at the Innovation Hub. It's for our boutiques. It's to help them build their businesses. And we put some of our chamber celebrities up on the stage, and you never know what these guys are going to do when they get up on the stage. John Burgess and Kathy there. And there's Heather. We got Heather up there on the stage. She was part of our fashion event. And Terry Hartwick, and you certainly don't know what he's going to do when he takes the stage. Another event that we do that stimulates economic activity is our real estate luncheon. We started that about 3 years ago. We invite all the realtors in Central Arkansas to come, and all the listings are just in North Little Rock, and we promote the listings that are there. We've had a number of transactions on city properties and other private properties that have occurred as a result of this luncheon that we put on. I'm not sure what this picture is, and I don't know what these people are doing, but I thought I'd add it. It was kind of crazy. They're having fun. One of the events we do that I'm most proud of is the Arkansas Women's Hall of Fame. We've been doing this for about 5 years. We started out doing it in conjunction with Arkansas Business Publishing Group. Now we manage the event ourselves. We've recognized over 48 women. I call them trailblazers and glass ceiling breakers. They're women who have paved the way for other women in our state and made significant progress in moving opportunities for women forward in the state. And it's a great event. We've got it coming up here in the month of August. If you've never been, it's at the State House Convention Center. I would encourage you to attend. Like many of our other events, you never know who's going to show up. Here's a couple of folks from North Little Rock that just happened to be at our last one. We do a lot with the schools. We think that preparing our next generation of leaders is very important. This is a program we have, as I mentioned, called Leadership Renaissance, where we take about 30 kids through the leadership program and work with them and help them understand the importance of giving them back to their community. And as I mentioned before, we have a couple of them that speak at our banquet. This is Arkansas Scholars. It's another program we do. Every student in the North Little Rock School District starts out as an Arkansas Scholar. We go into the school district in the 8th grade and we explain the program to each one of them. We show them the importance of getting a college degree, how that's going to impact their earnings, and how it's going to impact their lifestyle. We show them everything from what a budget looks like if you just have a high school diploma to what a budget looks like if you have a college degree, and we encourage them to do that. And then we have a graduation ceremony at Pulaski Tech at the end of their senior year. Their mom and dads come, and we award scholarships to the leading some of the people that finished the program. That's actually my high school principal, along with me, James Smith, presenting a scholarship to one of our students. And then we have Arkansas Signing Day. We take our top 25 scholarship recipients in the city of North Little Rock, and we recognize their scholarships. This group of 25 kids had over $6 million in scholarships that were awarded to them, to schools throughout the country. And we're also very active with the military. This is the crew of the ship, the Little Rock, USS Little Rock. It's a small, shallow water craft that patrols shallow water areas. It's state-of-the-art, one of the Navy's newest ships, and the crew was in town, and we had a little shot of them out there in front of the chamber. And we do a lot of ribbon cuttings. We do over 100 ribbon cuttings a year for new businesses. This is Black Bear. It's a diner over in North Little Rock. We think that not only is attracting new businesses to our community important, but it's also important to grow our existing businesses. And I personally am very active in the business retention calls with our local businesses, and I make over 100 a year. And we think it's really important to do the things that help our local businesses grow. And we're very involved with all the other chambers in the region, with MLRA, Metro Little Rock Alliance, which is our economic development entity, and I represent, along with Todd Larson, City of North Little Rock, in that effort. One of the other things that we do is we run sales tax campaigns whenever there's one of these, and the North Little Rock Chamber was very involved with getting our 1-cent sales tax passed. I was with the mayor and all of the speeches that he gave, supporting him. We put the signs up. We managed the monetary account to pay all the bills and do all the things that went along with that. Oops. No, I don't want to keep going. I'm sorry. Yikes. Oh well, I'm fair. That was my last slide. So anyway, that's a little bit about the chamber and what we do. Those of you that aren't members, we'd love for you to be members. If you have an interest, give us a call. We've also got some directories here with all of our members in them. We'd be happy to share one of those with you if you'd like one. Thanks for coming and listening.
Thank you, John. There we go. I think we got a good deal. Thank you. Any quick questions for John before we get into our next group? All right, great. I have to tell you a funny story. When I first came to Little Rock a couple of years ago, my home was in North Little Rock at the Metropolitan. I called my wife, Tony, who's at the audience, to say hi to him. And I said to her, I'm going to join Skinny J's. And she said to me, is cannabis legal in Arkansas? Good stuff, thank you. And by the way, does everybody know this? Come here. No, come back. This is very difficult. That's Ashley Jones, right? So this is like the Wizard of Oz, right? She is the one working all the levers behind the counter. So we Ashley is responsible for our community programs, and she is just a rock star and continues to deliver day in, day out. Has just really built our community programs into something extraordinary. I'm so proud of her work. She's a little shy, but anyway, thank you, Ashley. So moving on, let's talk about Heather, Josh. I want you guys to come on up here. I've got a couple bios to read. So let me do that because I'm better at reading them than I am memorizing them, as I mentioned. So recently named Heather Nelson one of the 250 most influential Arkansans by Arkansas Business. We also know she's great on the runway. We learned that today too.
Go back with us, Mom?
We can. I'm sure that's one that they're not embarrassing. Heather can be summed up in 3 words: passion, influence, and impact. She's an entrepreneur and a storyteller who utilizes her unique experiences to connect people and inspire them to change the world around them. The opportunity to co-found Seal Energy Solutions in 2012 came as a huge surprise. In just under 5 years, their team had built a $6.4 million firm covering Arkansas and Mississippi. In response to Heather's passion for storytelling and prosperity for wanderlust, she founded her own consulting firm in 2018 to serve others through speaking, storytelling, and strategic planning, Global Headwaters LLC. Heather's background gives her unique wisdom across energy efficiency, renewables, project management, strategic planning, operations, marketing, writing, and business development. Did I miss anything? Pretty amazing. Heather holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Marketing Management with an emphasis in entrepreneurial management from the Sam M. Walton School of Business at the University of Arkansas, and a Master's of BA of Business Administration from the University of Arkansas. Thanks for being here. And let me tell you about Josh. Josh holds a BA in Accounting and a BS in Construction Management and an MBA from UALR. Another underachiever, obviously. In addition, Josh holds multiple certifications, including a BPI-BA and an HHE. You'll have to explain to me what those are. Josh has become a top voice in the energy efficiency and renewable industry in Arkansas through his education, entrepreneurship, community, and industry service in his pursuit of training and certifications on a personal level. Josh co-founded Seal Energy Solutions in 2012, and it has grown into a $6.4 million Arkansas-based concentrating on energy efficiency, heat and air, and solar design and install. Josh has been a key voice in the 2 dockets before the PSC in the past 3 years related to net metering. He is currently serving as president of AEE. Just last month, Seal announced they're forming a teaming agreement with Lightwave Solar out of Nashville, Tennessee, currently ranked number 42 nationally in solar design and install firms, now making Seal the largest and most experienced solar design and install firm in the state of Arkansas. Join me in giving a warm welcome to Heather and Josh.
Things are moving so fast. That bio is old. Mom,
We'll bring us up to date.
can you hear me?
It takes a minute for the...
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Told them I didn't need a mic.
Down here.
Testing.
Should be picking it up. Okay. Well, can everybody hear Heather okay?
Yes.
All right, we'll work with that.
I don't need it. I don't need a mic. If I go on and start yelling. So it's just funny to listen to read the bio. I think we can just go ahead and start. She's got it set to scroll.
Just scroll.
Yeah, it'll
There we go.
scroll for us.
All right, Ashley's got it. Next.
So it's interesting to listen to our bios because so much has changed just even in the last couple of months. But first of all, I'd like to say on behalf of us that we're very honored to be here. It's humbling to, I think just to be an entrepreneur is humbling, but to certainly to have somebody think that you perceive that you have some wisdom that you can offer others is it's a little jaw dropping. So I think we're both a little speechless over being asked to be here to tell a little bit about our story. I'm just gonna, you can correct your bio
Okay.
when you get to, so we did start Seal Energy Solutions. We changed our name and everything. So we started the company in late 2012. It was Josh's father that actually put us together. I like to say that he saw something in the two of us that maybe we didn't see in ourselves. Josh had been approached by the Clinton Foundation. Back then in 2012, they were incubating nonprofits. And they had one that they were incubating in the Clinton Climate Initiative. And they, one of their key people had bumped into Josh. It's always interesting that I tell this part of the story since I wasn't even there. But they bumped into Josh at a community function event in Argenta. And they loved everything about him. They loved his brain and his posture towards green, and they had been looking for a contractor to partner with for about a year because they knew that they had to partner with somebody that could no longer hold the for-profit piece in-house. And so Josh started talking to him, and I had a fateful lunch with his father several months later, and as fathers do, he spent the entire lunch talking about his son, Josh, and this great / crazy idea that he had for a company. And as somebody who was in corporate lending for almost 20 years, you're used to people having lunch and buying you lunch just so they get free advice. And so I didn't think anything about it until a little ways into it, knowing I spent maybe 20 minutes in my entire life at that point with Josh. I bumped into him maybe twice. I didn't know him. I didn't know his father well, but it's just like when you meet somebody and you really get along well. And so at some point, I'm mid-bite and some salmon and said, so Josh is still working for you, right? Who's going to run this company? And he said, you are. And I said, L-I-M. And I said, that's kind of why I wanted to go to lunch, because I was actually gonna leave the rat race and head up to Fayetteville and get my PhD and fulfill the dreams of one of my college professors, and I was gonna teach college. And I was kind of done with business. I was burnt out and fried.
She really never said yes 7 years later.
That's right. I never said yes. So
Well, no,
tell a little
so
bit about that experience.
at the time I was building fast food restaurants with my dad, and I don't know if you've probably done some fast foods, Barry, but they're not happy. You're not done fast enough. You're a little bit over budget, and there's probably already warranty issues because they just beat those places up, you know. And so the idea of going to someone's home with the Clinton Foundation, and they're happy to see you there. They want you there because they have comfort issues. They've got high electric bills. And so the transition from that to being welcome and someone's happy to see you there, and they call you 3 months later and be like, my bill really did drop 20%. And so that's how we got started, was in the efficiency world, was going into people's homes and their businesses and figuring out problems. You know, I've got comfort issues in this back bedroom. I bet your ducts are, you know, leaking, or there's a disconnected duct. And so that's kind of where we got started, is we got to go into people's homes and really help them save money on their electric bills. And kind of our mission at the time was threefold. It was first, conservative. We all walk out of this room, let's turn the lights off, let's conserve energy. Now we're in this room. Second is efficiency. If we're going to be in this room, let's use LED lights instead of incandescent or even CFLs. And then the third is renewable, and that's really where we are now, 7 years into SEAL, is a way to, you know, renewable solar is making sense in Arkansas. There's a lot of things pushing that, from billing mechanisms and laws, but it is it's an explosion. Katie probably knows the stats better than we do. I'm kind of jumping the story, but from 16 to 17, number of interviewed clients jumped up, 52% solar clients. 17 to 18 was 56, and I bet you from 18 to 19 it'll be 300% or 400%, who knows. So it's just this unbelievable market that we're getting to be a part of, and very blessed to be a part of it, because it's, I don't know, I think it's once in a lifetime.
So kind of backing up a little bit, because I think the question is, you get into it. When we started it, our business plan was around QC, energy efficiency work. That's what the Clinton Foundation needed. And they wanted us to do it, the work, but they also wanted us to build a box. And really, they had aspirations of helping this nonprofit go nationwide, and they wanted us to go behind them. So about 5 months in, we really struggled valiantly for 5 months. And valiantly, I don't think the people who were in the offices next to us thought it was valiant at all, because there was a lot of pain, because you have to remember, it just feels so different. It just, today in 2019 in Arkansas, it's just, you can't imagine in 2012 there really weren't contractors that understood energy efficiency work. Now, when we were starting, so we're trying to QC contractors who don't really understand building science. And so the Clinton Foundation people asked us, would you consider bringing on your own crews? And I was adamantly against that. And Josh was like, who is 12 years younger than I am, yeah, let's try that. And convinces me. I'm old, he's young, and he said, I'll go out in the field, I'll train with him, we'll do a pilot for 30 days. And you stay in the office and do everything else. And let's just try this. And 30 days later, the honest truth is, I like to blame him, but we were both hooked, because once you get to have that customer interaction and they're just giddy. I mean, when you save 30% of somebody's bill, and we had the pilot, the Clinton people knew what to do with us. The area that we did was low income, so the change for them was so dramatic. I mean, we were crying. I mean, the truth is, we were emotional.
You got people on fixed income that you reduce their bills by 20%. That's like a raise. That's like 11 to 50% raise. It's like throwing a rock into a pond. That ripple just keeps on going. So literally, I had people on the phone saying, I can now pay for medicine, or I can now get my hair done, or things that they couldn't do because they were budgeting out with the energy savings created for them. So you're talking, okay, this is a game changer. The utility is helping pay for it because they're wanting to see savings. We're getting to create jobs, economic development, and it's helping, a single mom or whatever. It's just like ding, ding, ding. Okay, this is it. I'm in. And so we took that, and at our highest point, we had 55 employees.
55 employees, 3 offices.
Gray hair, right?
I held on.
Yeah.
It was about every 6 or 7 weeks, about 7 years ago. It's about every 3 weeks now, but that's what entrepreneurship do.
We
But
just,
it just snowballed.
yeah, so we were buying a heating and air company, and then we bought insulation machines, and then we bought an assessment company, and, you know, we were just
Opened office.
open offices, and we were just trying to gobble up as much of the market as we could. And there's probably a whole long story of went wells the next times that we should have done differently. Should have closed offices earlier, but
Bring some whiskey, come see us. We'll share all of our demons from this.
But I will say, I was emotionally attached to certain things that I probably would have, if someone would have stepped away and like, Josh, that thing's losing money, why are you sticking with it? Because that's my baby. You know what I mean? And so I think,
Hear him. He was emotionally, the man was emotionally attached. I was not.
yeah. But there's a happy medium there. Instead of just cutting and running, there's probably a happy medium.
There is. And I'd like to say it's interesting to interview both of us. We've grown this company as partners, and I think some people find that interesting, but Josh and I have always said, and we've been on panels separately together before, but we're so much alike, but we also are different. And I think that what we have found, though sometimes it's been hard, and I mean really hard, but
I feel like crying up here.
really hard. But together we find the best, decision, the best solution, because, it really is, because you bring all our imperfections and all our wisdom and our life experience, and you hash it all out, and then you're able to really, if you respect the other person and you trust the other person, then you're really able to find the best decision in the midst of all that. And I think that I have full body chills right now. I think in the course of as hard as entrepreneurship is, and it is hard, I created a hashtag and everything. Entrepreneurship is not for sissies. It is hard, but at its best, it's borderline magic, and it's like nothing else that I've ever experienced in my 48 years. But we're going to leapfrog because everybody wants to hear about solar is what I'm imagining. Late 2014, I was on a fateful trip in Haiti, a country I love and go to frequently. And Josh was beefing up his man card and driving my Jeep Rubicon.
So I drove a Prius, and then she goes ahead and I'm like, full body Rubicon, check. And so I'm driving her monster Rubicon Jeep.
And it has Sirius radio.
And I hear an advertisement for solar. We'd like to plan this or something. I hear an advertisement for solar, and it's 1-800-MY-SOLAR. And at this point, I'm upset. I'm like, who in the world is advertising for solar in Arkansas? It should be us. We're the ones in the homes doing the energy efficiency work. If solar's here, it should be us. And so I get fired up, but I can't complain or whine to Heather because she's in Haiti. And so she comes back, and she has...
So I'm visiting one of the companies. So what Haiti needs is economic development. I'm very passionate about economic development, not just for Arkansas, but for Haiti. And one of the businesses I was at, I walk out this door, and it's a roof access, and I literally slam into this big guy. And we both kind of get startled, and I look, and on his chest is NRG Energy. And I'm like, gee, I know that name. How do I know that name? I go, hi, and we start talking, and I go, what are you guys doing? What are you doing here? And he said, we're installing solar panels. What? And so we end up having a dialogue, and NRG has figured out a way to, they will pay for the panels, they will install the panels as long as the company or customer buys their energy through them. And it's an interesting model, and especially for Haiti, because on average, most of you probably pay about 10 cents a kilowatt. Down there, it's 39 cents a kilowatt. So, poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and their grid doesn't even work at night. So, they're on generators mainly. So, I'm not going to talk about Haiti today, but the point was that I was like, if they can figure out, if this, global company can figure this out in Haiti, then maybe we should be looking at this. We'd always talked about solar, but, just felt that was a long, long way down the road. So I come back really excited to share what I've learned with Josh.
I'm fired up because someone's advertising solar in Arkansas. And so, so we get together and we're like, well, let's reach out to this company that's advertising. So I call this company in California, and they blow me off.
How many times did you call?
Like dog on a bone. Called and called and called, and they kept blowing me off. Finally, I got hold of the CEO, and I was like, listen, We will fly you to Arkansas. We will put you in a hotel. We will feed you. We will dine you, whatever. Just come teach us about solar for a whole week. And that's exactly what he did. So we flew him down. He stayed in the Wyndham. We got one of those little banquet rooms and just drilled this cat for like 4 days straight about what is solar, what products are you using, how are you financing it, is it cash flow positive, what's net metering, what's time use, all these things that now we know we had no idea. So we got a crash course in solar. Turns to find out he wants to sell us solar leads at $150 a pop. Now we can buy them for $15, but we didn't know that at the time. So we did. We bought solar leads for $150 a pop. Probably didn't sell one, but he taught us what was going to happen in Arkansas. In drawing a straight line with a crooked stick, it is right. We are starting to see meters being changed out in your homes that are smart meters and advanced meters. That's the precursor to time of use rates, meaning that you're going to get charged a higher rate during certain times of the day when it's the most strain on the grid.
I think to remember too, so this is early 2015, and so this is long before anything's been announced about Entergy's Stuttgart, which was their original location. I mean, nobody's doing solar except for the ones who've been doing solar for 30 years here in Arkansas and are really the godfathers of the industry.
The Godfather was John.
The godfather, but still. So we're having to make a decision. You know, we're entrepreneurs, we're bootstrapping, and you know, are we going to put R&D money that we don't have into this? And we decide yes. I mean, there's just like fashion or anything else. What's happening on the east and west coast can show you a lot about what the crystal ball is for what's going to happen in middle America. And so really, he gave us the crystal ball. And so I don't know if we were cocky, possibly, but we just felt like this is coming. We may be way ahead, but we've been pioneering. We've been pioneering and everything else now around energy efficiency. Why not pioneer? Get on the front end of solar. And so we started doing the design and install work in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it.
So we were subbing it all out, kind of like where we started with energy efficiency. We were subbing it out the design, subbing out the electrical, and subbing out the install. And obviously, when you do that, there's a couple things that happen. One, it's really hard to control the quality, and then two, the price. Is I'm at the whim of 3 different individuals, and so we started to think, okay, let's see if we can do this all in house. And you think it's hard to find people that are in building science in Arkansas. Solar's crazy hard. And so we had to send a guy to Denver, $5,000 later, to get him trained. He now has 2 of the 5 NABCEP certifications in the state. He's probably the most certified solar person in the state. When we hired him, he was working on ice machines. And so now he's head over our solar, he's a project manager for our solar team. And so it's one of my favorite stories is, just being able to be a part of someone's life and just see, where they are, where we get to help play a role.
I think
I got lost.
There you go. In the midst of all this, we had dockets coming up, and Katie Deebom's here, who's the executive director of Arkansas Advanced Energy Association. We're part of that. I'm honored to be on the board of directors for that, and that's a hard. I got to follow Jim Tucker, so that was fun. You get the song, would you like to replace former Governor Jim Tucker? But Arkansas Advanced Energy Association has really been on the cutting edge of all of this happening. So in the midst of all this, there's a docket going forward in front of the Public Service Commission about net metering. And so Josh and I, in some ways, just jumped in head first and got part of the working group in that. And so, I feel like for 2 years there, we were once a month sitting in 8 to 10 hour meetings all day, literally watching the sausage get made on this industry around net metering and pricing and how the utilities view solar, how learning some of the players, learning who was really kind of starting to look at solar. I mean, so if you can imagine when you start a company, your head's down in the sand and you're just hustling. You're just trying to make payroll, you're trying to keep the lights on. And so we like to say that, that first 6 months, certainly, but, that first year or two, we really had our heads down and it was just the hustle. And so in that season that started around 2015 and 2016, we really kind of put our head up and said, we need to really understand the landscape, what's happening in this industry, what groups do we need to be a part of, who are our competitors today, who could be our competitors, and we started getting much more engaged, and that was a risk, because you don't get paid for that. That's not making you any money to be an active part of your community, or to go spend 10 hours with a working group all day, or go to meetings. And so, I think that's been critical and pivotal for both of us and for our firm, but it also was a risk, and it also, it probably prevented us from being as successful maybe, or being as focused on revenue and growth. I mean, that was a hard balance during that season.
Sure. So from 2015 to 2018, we, were just running our heads in the weeds, and popped up and started getting numbers from net metering, and it turns out that 1 out of every 5 solar jobs in Arkansas we had done. We had no idea that was there, and that's not a whole lot because the saturation rate of solar is so small. But we started realizing, okay, are we focusing on the right things? Are we focused on the right thing? And as much as it was hard, because energy efficiency and HVAC was our baby, we kind of felt like maybe it's time to refocus and not be good at all things, but be great at one thing. And so 3 months ago now, we sold our heat and air division to our heat and air manager. So if you have a maintenance contract with us, it's all good, it's the same person. And we sold our energy efficiency division to a company that's been in the business longer than we have, that out of Hot Springs. And so, we big transition in the past 3 months, and now we're solely solar, because we just think that it's the right time, it's the right place, we have the right certifications, and I don't know if you guys are watching, but there's probably a large solar array announced every week nowadays, just because there's some legislation that just got passed, and it was the solar access bill. And so, between that, and there's an investment tax credit that's going down from 30% to 26% this year, and the changes with net metering, and all of this smoke there's a big fire. And so it's kind of what we've kind of driven our mission to be. And so nerve-wracking but fun.
Yeah, part of that decision came too, as we looked at historically, the best way to, in finance they say that, what happened in the past is a good indicator of what is going to happen in the future. And one of the things that we realized at the end of last year, first of this year, was that our solar division had outpaced every other division we had 3-1. And so, as an entrepreneur, you have to go, okay, am I going to, keep doing that? And we also had to look at our people, because if you've got a division that's outpacing 3-1, you're probably spending a little bit more time with that division than you are the other. So it was, are we being fair to the people that we employ in those divisions, who are very passionate? If you've ever met our former heat and air manager, he is just, it's a science to him. And so it really was not just simply what's best for SEAL, but it was what's best for our people. And we had felt that pain, that they, there was, they're spending all their time.
I think they felt it too.
They felt it too. It wasn't a big surprise when we kind of sat down. And I'll tell you, that was messy, because we made the decision that we were going to be brutally honest with our team and 100% transparent and say, this is what we're looking at. And I can't tell you how many times we screamed at each other and yelled at each other, going, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't look right, we've made a mistake, we've made a mistake. And the truth is, I don't know if we made a mistake or we did make a mistake, but it was going to be hard no matter what. And we've both grown a lot as leaders and as human beings through the course of entrepreneurship, and it just felt, in the moment, it felt right to be transparent. Some of these people have been with us since inception. And I think that, after the dust settled, I think we do it the way we did it again. I think we probably would have kept a little bit more alcohol close by to swing, because it was hard. And it was also hard because that was probably more for Josh than me. But, that's how we kind of came to the dance, was EE. And so
energy efficiency.
Sorry. So to step away from that was a challenge. But then you just look at so much opportunity. And just so you know, these are some of our projects. We kind of wanted to show a sampling. So as Josh said, since 2015, we've done 1 out of every 5 projects in the state of Arkansas that have been designed and installed solar-wise have been done by our team. And we are very proud of that. So right now, we have 20% market share. So the challenge is because of SB 145, which Josh mentioned, which got through the legislature, which opened up leasing for residential commercial, and it did a whole bunch of other things that we don't want to belabor that. But as I believe that, who in here has read Malcolm Gladwell's Tipping Point? Best book ever. So I predicted, this is my prediction, so if somebody holds it, that 3 to 5 years from now, we will look back and that what happened with SB 145 will be, they will look back and say that's the tipping point. I'm looking at Dr. Ellaby, who has heard me say that in her conference room, that I really believe that. And the reason they don't say it now is because when you're in the throes of a tipping point, you're overshadowed by the tipping point. So right now, everybody's just trying to figure everything out. But these are some of our projects. We're getting a time thing. So we do everything from residential. So I like to say we do everything from 2 panels to 6,000 panels. One of our project managers came into my office yesterday and said, Heather, you're going to have to change that. And I said, why? I said, because that contract we just got is 11,000 panels. So now we do everything from 2,000 panels to 11,000 panels.
From 2 panels.
To 2 panels or to 11,000?
Yeah, we got that.
No. So there are some, this is the sign of SB 145. We're in that mix. KDE bumps in that mix. A lot of our competitors, don't call them, just call us. But so we do everything from residential, small business, utility scale, government entities, commercial. We did the first mini storage in the state. Elise Stroud's a customer back there.
First bakery, first winery,
First farmer.
First farmer, largest county owned. We're in the land of first right now. I don't know how much longer that's gonna last, but it's fun.
Bottom line is, we love it. We're honored to be an entrepreneur, to be a firm in the state. And I think Josh likes to say, I like to say that Josh has a once in a generation mind, and Josh likes to say that this is a once in a generation opportunity, what we're seeing with solar. And so I think he's the right person.
Truth is, I think Heather has a one.
No, but this is a great, my nephew used to say in high school, it's a great time to be alive. I don't know what show or anything he's quoting, but I'm sure it's a quote from something. But it is a great time to be in the state. To see a state, our small, that's always at the bottom, embracing this technology and this financial opportunity. I mean, I am 48 years old, and for the first time in my life, I have control over a line item in my personal budget that I never had opportunity because I have solar in my home. And I look at COOs and CFOs and CEOs, and I said it to a CEO that yesterday, it said, you've had this company for 30 years, you've been running companies for 40 to 50 years, and I said, when have you ever had the ability to have control over this line item in your budget and for your business? And he looked at me and said, never. And I said, but now you do. And that is not, I mean, we respect the utilities, that it's not this isn't an anti-utilities, but this is if this is still America, I think it still is, still think there's a flag, that we have the right to take advantage of technology and have control over our budgets. Period, full stop. That's my pitch. And do I think solar's for everybody? I do, and I get dirty looks every time I say it. But we have done projects that were 3 panels and small, and they are cash flow neutral or cash flow positive. I mean, the price has come down over 60% since we started this in 2015. It's just a perfect storm of a lot of things happening, and Arkansas has the best net metering laws in the country. And so it is time for the state to take advantage of that. So that's my pitch. I had to get my full passion pitch out there.
I'm not going to follow on that. Just drop the mic. Good. Thank you.
Okay,
we've run out of time, but,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
one of the things I love is your dynamic between the two of you. You guys are awesome together. And that's not easy, I mean, for those of us who've started businesses and had partnerships, it didn't work out well, they're like marriages, right? And making them on the road is a challenge, and you having that, because that is extraordinary special.
Thank you so much.
If you could tell an entrepreneur anything that you've learned and continue to learn, and as sort of putting you on the spot with that, what would you share with our folks who are here today?
You first.
Don't lie to your business partner. So Josh and I said this on a panel one time, that when we started the company, we lied to each other. So he thought that he was going to continue to work for his father, and that I was going to run this, and no big deal. And I thought, I'm going to take an ownership stake and help him get it started, and then I'm going to go off to U of A and do my PhD. So we both, poor communication, neither one of us lied. And so we were in days of filing corporate papers, and we were on a borrowed conference room table with our personal laptops. That's how we started, and that's part of our story. And I looked at him over the laptops and said, you're going to have to quit your dad. And we've got a tiger by the tail, and it's going to take both of us. And that was like a hot minute into it. And so I think the easy answer is really be honest with each other. If your partnerships are great, but you really have to be honest with each other. And that's a funny story, but it's also, it could have not gone as well. And so I think that would be one of the things that I would say.
No, I agree. I mean, we have kind of morphed so many times, and I think sometimes the lack of morphing has been the emotional attachment to what part of your business. And so I think that probably for me would be taking others' advice and listening, but not letting your emotional attachment prevent you from changing. Because I think that we probably would have made decisions a lot quicker if it wasn't, this is our baby, it's still, let's hold on to this. And, I think that would probably be the advice is, emotion is wonderful. It is, that's passion is great, but it can also be a stumbling block if, you let it. So
true.
You bet, you bet. At the end of the day, if people don't buy what you're selling, you don't have a business, do you?
That's right.
That's right.
I think at some point too, we have been told by our team that, you guys still act like you are those two that are on that borrowed conference room table, and you guys can relax now. And Josh and I both had a physical, we had a physical reaction when that was said to us, and still. And the day that I lose the drive and hustle for this thing, and I don't want to get all emotional and be a girl and all that. The day that I lose that, is the day that I don't come in. I don't think that you can be an entrepreneur and not give a damn. I think it's just, why else would you take all the risk and everything else? And so I think be passionate, but just acknowledge that you're emotional. Acknowledge that you love this thing, that it is your baby, that maybe, these people that you've hired and grown and poured into, that they do feel like your kids. And I think it's just, let's just stop denying it. Let's just acknowledge it, and it's a lot easier to go, maybe I'm a little too attached, and, to do that, so.
Well, there's, entrepreneurship is a disease.
Amen.
And I don't think there's a cure, and that's a good thing. And when we have the opportunity as we select companies for our programs and work with people here in the community, and there's a visceral and emotional component to it. And it is what enables people like you to genuinely walk through walls and accomplish the things that you do. Because people tell you you can't all the time. And entrepreneurs don't listen to that.
And we have definitely been told no, and that we shouldn't be in that room, or we shouldn't have that opinion, or that can't be done. We have built a company on people telling us what we can't do and shouldn't be doing, and all of that. And so that's really true. And I think that you have to go. If whatever your beliefs is, if you feel like this is what you're supposed to do, then you just have to do it. Because at the end of the day, the only competitor that matters is the one staring back at you as you're brushing your teeth each morning. And I have built a legacy of watch Secretariat. It's the best movie. Find your lane and just run. It doesn't matter what everybody else around you is doing. It matters what do you feel compelled and called to do. And that's what matters. And so, that's one of the hardest things for us, is just to continue as our company has grown and doubled. It's just like, what's our lane? And it's okay that your lane changes. It's going to change. If you're successful and you're on a trajectory like this, it's going to change. But you have to sit down, if you have partners or with yourself, if you don't, and go, what is the lane that I want to be in today? Not looking back, but where's it going and what lane? And that's kind of what we had to embrace a few months ago was, we love where we've been and we feel like those things are important, but where do we feel like we need to be and we're going, and where do we feel like our team, who we adore, really wants to go? Because at the end of the day, it's not just us, it's this whole team of people. I mean, and so, you know, where do they want to go? And because, you know, you can't do it alone, so.
That's absolutely, makes such a difference. You know, we try to accomplish two things with this program every time we put it on, which is to bring the community closer to us. And thanks so much to John Owens for doing that from North Little Rock. And we do have a bridge between our areas, right? So we are a region. I thought that was a great point. But also the inspiration to others to have the courage that you guys have to start businesses. You know, and it's not about finding the next Google. It's not about hunting unicorns, right? It's also about creating a $7 million business or a great restaurant. We want the Googles, we want the Facebooks, we want to see those things happen too. But that's a little tiny percentage of things. You know, people often say, you know, I don't really want to start a lifestyle business. I'm not sure what lifestyle business is, but I'll tell you what, I've owned a lot of businesses, big, small, and indifferent, and I'm just so respectful of the energy. It takes the same amount of work and the passion that you guys bring, the inspiration I hope that our audience has found today. Thank you both so much for what you're doing, and also helping our environment and putting those solar panels up and saving us some money. It's just a great story all around. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
So, again, thanks to our guests today and for your inspiration. Just awesome stuff. Just quickly, we've got a couple other things coming on the 16th of August. Our next Lift the Rock will be Nate Kennedy, who's the executive director of Soma 501, and also Shelley Green from the Green Corner Store. We'll hear stories that are hopefully equal to what we learned about today. In addition to that, wait a second, where am I going, Ashley? You got me? Okay, good deal. Chris Wright, the VC workshop. So part of our education component of our sort of three legs of our story. Chris Wright, the CEO of Citadel Systems, how to think like a hacker and better protect yourself. Good advice today. Dr. Brian Murphy, the owner and principal of Pinnacle Physical Therapy, technology and posture and how it's impacting your musculoskeletal system. You can hardly say that. And then David Moody, from who's the deputy director from the SBA here, talking about time, treasure, and talent, lessons learned from the SBA Emerging Leaders Program, which is conducted in this building as well. And I think that I've done my job on promoting going forward, right, Ashley?
That's it. That's right.
Okay, great. Let's hear it for Ashley again.
Thank you all for your support.
And we'll see you again.